The Pro Wrestling Stories Podcast.
Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Stories Podcast, where we transport you to the nostalgic moments of wrestling's past. You can listen to the show wherever you get your podcasts and follow Pro Wrestling Stories on Facebook at Pro Wrestling Stories and on Twitter, PWS_official. I'm Chris Toplack. He's Corey Rivard. How much do you feel the reaction from an audience enhances the quality of a match? We just kick it off with a question.
Well, if we're discussing if specifically the match that we are talking about today, I think more importantly than the two competitors is the audience in this match. This is the most audience-reliant match possibly that I've ever seen.
I think of all time, definitely, because if you actually muted this match,
yeah,
probably a C, maybe a C plus if you're being generous.
Okay, we might be more on the same page than I thought we might be. That's what the actual wrestling match itself I'm not insane about, but
no.
As a battle of charisma, my God, if it was Charisma Mania, then my God, we've got the main event of all time.
So, of course, we're talking about icon versus icon. It is The Rock, the People's Champion, versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 18 in the Great White North, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Do you think they're ever going to make it back here again? They've had two. That's it.
I mean, two pretty successful ones.
Yes.
So I guarantee they've got that on some sort of like, when we really need to hit it, let's use Toronto.
God, I hope so. It's the concrete jungle, now known as the Rogers Centre, previously the SkyDome. Not exactly. It's not the most up to date, but it's still pretty nice for the most part. I've been there for Blue Jays games. I'm sure you have as well. It's still serviceable to hold a WrestleMania event.
Absolutely. Plus, just nostalgic buildings are part of the lore.
But they're going for the football stadiums, it seems like now.
They need a Caesar's Palace again.
Oh, yes. There you go. And a friend told me who attended this, his name is Tyler, so shout out to him. Back in college, he told me it was the loudest atmosphere he's ever experienced, not only in wrestling, but as a sports fan as well. He mentioned nothing came remotely close to the atmosphere here. Do you remember the first time you actually watched this match, by the way?
Well, this probably sounds like a sin, but this was it was retroactively, unfortunately. I had taken a little, I think I just discovered bars exist or something about this time and was putting wrestling on the back burner at the time. But retroactively, of course, I remember watching with my brother. Very excited, just foaming at the mouth. It was awesome.
And it's funny, too, because the rest of the card was fine. I mean, of course, we had Ric Flair versus The Undertaker, Stone Cold versus Scott Hall, which was a very perplexing matchup, if you ask me. We had the Undisputed Championship on the line, Chris Jericho and Triple H. We also had, I believe, Christian and DDP on there as well, too. So the card was fine. It was nothing mind-blowing, but the crowd really reacted. On paper. Yeah, it's not too bad on paper, but the crowd really came together for this match in particular. Everything else, they were somewhat lackadaisical at times.
I was lackadaisical about the whole thing, too, because on paper, what you just said, those all sound amazing. And I want to watch them right now, but nothing really leapt out in the end, other than what we're talking about today.
Yeah, the execution. So the story today is The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18, the real story. Editor JP, if you stick around, we are going to watch the full match with our thoughts, insight, and commentary as well. So it is The Rock versus Hulk Hogan, icon versus icon, an attendance record-shattering 68,237 fans. Jam-packed the concrete jungle, Toronto's storied SkyDome, now the Rogers Centre. Don't even get me started on that. To bear witness to, well, really two of the absolute best from their generations. When they stood toe-to-toe, face-to-face, the electricity from the crowd and the flashes from the camera, something you don't see anymore, really illuminated the space all around them. It was quite evident that one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history was about to take place, the classic staredown, the look to the crowd, but the match did not go according to plan. The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. Here's what Hulk Hogan had to say, a quick little quote. "If we had done what we had practiced, they would have booed us out of the fucking building." Wow.
That's amazing. My brother watched it this morning, actually, randomly, and texted me about how great it was. And I explained this to him, and his mind was blown that they changed it all.
On the fly. I mean, you have to be a real pro to do it on the fly, because otherwise, if you went out there and it was fully scripted and you thought, oh my God, they're already cheering for Hulk Hogan, they're in his corner, they're not in mine, I'm supposed to win, I'm supposed to be the babyface, I'm going to go down very quickly here.
I'm still blown away that they didn't see that coming. I don't understand.
Well,
How did
oddly,
they not know that was going to happen?
I was going to say, oddly enough, this individual, Tyler, who I went to college with, he was telling me that hours prior to the event, when he was outside, and this was even before doors opened, that a lot of people were donning the red and yellow, and they were super pro Hulk Hogan. So as you noted, it should come as no surprise here.
Right, yeah, okay. So even if you didn't know till the day, you get to the building, you see that crowd, you should be ready for that.
No kidding.
Thankfully, they had the right people involved.
Yes, and they called it on the fly. So this part from Hulk Hogan and also The Rock came from an extensive two-part interview with UK-based Fighting Spirit magazine. This is specifically where the Hulk Hogan quotes come from. He opens up about the original plans for the match against The Rock at WrestleMania 18 in 2002.
Hulk Hogan says, I go down there and there's me and The Rock and his dad, Rocky Johnson, and Pat Patterson. The Rock starts telling me that we're going to lock up and do this and do that, and then start getting some heat on me and so on.
Brother.
So he talked through the whole match, and I was listening. I respect him, and it kind of made sense, but I'd never done that before. And then they go, okay, let's have the match here. I said, whoa, you're talking about me taking bumps in this ring with no people? I'll get hurt. kind of weird. And if I fall wrong one time, then my career is over. Imagine his career ended to no audience.
Hulk Hogan has broken a hip, and he's not continuing. So it's The Rock versus Kevin Nash now.
Yeah, very exciting. I've got to have the energy of the crowd so that when I go down to the mat hard. So instead, we just walk through the match. So it sounds like his hulking is real.
Yeah.
Like he needs the crowd. That actually gives him a superpower.
It does.
Who knew? That's crazy. The whole issue I had was, what if we got to Toronto and this doesn't work?
Ooh.
So sure enough, when we go to Toronto, I give The Rock one big push, and the place explodes. And then I push him again as we planned, and the place explodes again. And the WWE thought I was going to get booed.
Really?
Somehow.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I start chopping meat on him, and with every hit, the place is going crazy. Then I did what was planned, blocking a punch, and as soon as he started hitting me, came the boos.
That is true. I still cannot believe, it's a little confusing to me, that WWE had no earthly idea that Hulk Hogan was going to be cheered. And I believe, and you'll hear me say this throughout the match, it was really that homegrown feel. It was a homecoming more than anything else. Is welcome back. This is why we're cheering you, because we respect you.
Of course. And sometimes Canadians can be a little depraved of the big events, right? So when you bring a WrestleMania to Toronto, this is a long time coming. We want it big time, and when it gets there, they want that nostalgic feel.
Yes.
Right?
So who were you cheering for? I know that you watched this after the fact, but at the time, was it Hulk Hogan or was it The Rock?
Well, in the great the Austin or Rock era here, I was a Rock guy.
Ooh.
And I was a macho man guy during the Macho Hogan times. So my favorite of the era, The Rock, I had to go with that and passing the torch and all that. And The Rock is honestly, I started second guessing myself on that, liking being more of The Rock than Austin. But this week I was watching the Skull Sessions as you recommended, and Austin was just incredible. He just blew my mind. But then rewatching all this and watching The Rock cut promos on Hogan was just, that guy is a master. Insane. He's my favorite. He's incredible.
Yes, and it's funny too. I've heard Chris Jericho say this on multiple occasions. Not only did they have The Rock in one era, they had Austin in the same friggin' era. You had two of the biggest of all time in the same era. It's never going to happen again.
God damn, it's not even close right now. They got 0 right now.
No. I mean, that was the equivalent that they had of Cena. He wasn't quite there, but he was close, but they did not have anybody that would rival Cena. Maybe the closest was CM Punk, and even then, he was not at that Austin or Rock level.
Yeah, exactly. No one was. Like, none of the currents are going to go on to become big Hollywood stars and make it into, like, The Rock said that this made CNN this match. So he said he was watching CNN after it was on the ticker tape at the bottom, I think in like Times Square, and he sees The Rock demolishes.
Wow.
Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
Well, I do have a theory as to why. I won't go into this in depth, but I do believe the WWE is more focused on promoting their brand versus promoting actual individuals. And the reason why is if they lose them, they lose a lot of value there. So they would rather promote, say, WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, or WWE, and then have everybody under that umbrella. Unfortunately, you're not going to have those stars that will transcend the business, though.
That is astute. I guess maybe they learned poorly from the past, I guess, because they're still licking their wounds from decades ago, I guess. And,
it's true, because once they leave,
yeah.
Who do they have, right?
The better one. That's what they have.
You have to build new stars. So Hulk Hogan continued. I went down and looked up and said, "You want me to fix this?" Almost like he's going in there like Mike Holmes fixing a home, like a renovation gone wrong. The Rock says, "Yeah, let's fix it." I went, "Okay, then listen to me." So, of course, now you have the veteran calling the match, which of course, does make sense. But it took him no time to get it right because he is just as good in the ring. And it took us 3 minutes to get it right. I think less than that, actually. But if we'd done it as we practiced, they would have booed us out of the fucking building. I'm not saying I could do it in every instance, but The Rock is so good, we could do that. The Rock doesn't usually talk about planning the matches, so somebody must have made him worry that I was too old and too slow and that I wouldn't be able to keep up with the work rate. But once he got in the ring with me, he knew I had a feel for it. We got it right. That's what I wanted to do with Stone Cold and Bret Hart. Now, here's weird to me, that point. As we discussed recently, there was certainly an opportunity for Hulk to have that match against Bret at SummerSlam 93, but he rejected it. So it's strange that he is now, in retrospect, saying, I would have loved to have that match with Stone Cold and Bret. I believe those opportunities were there.
It's possible that he just thinks there's an infinite amount of time that they'll get to these things, right?
They don't have it.
We'll get to Bret. He'll get to have an Austin match. Who would you have preferred to see, Austin Hogan or Rock and Hogan?
I got to go Austin Hogan. Really? I think that is the big match, but at the same time,
this is such a perfect match.
Yeah,
perfect combo.
It's weird because then let's take it a step back, and I'll give you three. Yeah. How about this?
Sure.
So we have Austin Goldberg, we have Taker, Sting, Rock, and Hogan. How about that?
Yeah, those are beauties.
So maybe we just leave it there because obviously with Austin and Goldberg, I mean, in a lot of respects, Goldberg was, at least to some, a rip-off Stone Cold. So why not eventually have those two tough SOBs go at it? Of course, then you have the two charismatic ones, and then you have the two dark, brooding ones with Sting and The Undertaker. So I think those three matchups are the money matchups.
That's our fantasy never going to happen, you're saying?
Yeah, and even at this event, we'll get into this another time, I think it was rumored that it might be Kurt Angle versus Sting. That would have been awesome, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. Because the eventual Sting, which I'm sure we'll get to eventually, ends up being just trash.
Not the same, unfortunately.
No. Cool. All right. The Rock reacts. That sounded like The Rock. Following the iconic match between The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18, The Rock says, "What Hogan did for me, I can't thank him enough." Just minutes after the match had ended, The Rock, still elated after what just took place, took a moment to talk to WWE.com to share his thoughts on what his match with Hulk Hogan meant to him. "This is by far the greatest night in the history of my career. In this industry, my main objective was to be the absolute best, period. And what Hogan did for me tonight, I can't thank him enough. It's the greatest feeling, period. I dare say it will never be duplicated. You think about 70,000 people nonstop screaming for almost 40 minutes. It's a testament to their passion."
It's not 40 minutes at all. That's the weird thing, too. It's like just barely 20 minutes. And here he is. He's like, an hour and a half. They're going nuts for us.
I've heard 40 minutes somewhere else, too, which is weird. Maybe they came back out and they started screaming.
Don't think so.
"I love the fact that the fans are so passionate. They show me their passion when they cheer me, and they show their passion when they boo me. What I love about it is I have the confidence in my relationship with the fans that I can turn to them and say, continue to boo me, because I'm going to continue to entertain you. And for that, I'm so thankful for them. I'd like to end this interview just by saying I can't thank Hulk Hogan enough for what he did for me."
Well, that makes sense. The torch was officially passed that evening. Now, with all due respect to Chris Jericho and Triple H, how the hell did this match not close the show? Because they would have known this would have been impossible to top.
Right. There's foresight, I imagine, involved here. They should have had it. They should have used it. They've ended WrestleManias with non-championship matches before. Bam Bam Lawrence Taylor, you've ended it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like it's unprecedented.
And then, of course, on Instagram, 16 years after the match, The Rock did pay tribute to this iconic matchup. He said, 16 years ago today at WrestleMania, I had the honor of making history and breaking records with this man, the immortal Hulk Hogan. About a year prior to the match, Vince McMahon came to me and asked how I felt about bringing Hulk Hogan back to WWE and creating the main event at WrestleMania. I loved the idea and immediately saw the massive business opportunity for us, but more importantly, giving fans a once-in-a-lifetime match to enjoy. Now, of course, they did not really give us that because in 2003, they did square off again, but the less we talk about that match, the better, right? Have you ever seen that one?
I have seen it. It's nothing. It's just a bad finish, all of it.
Yeah, it was just, it did not live up to the hype, we'll put it that way. And I think it's just one of these things where it's a great movie. Let's put it to you like this. The original 1978 Halloween, my all-time favorite film, didn't need any sequels. But we got how many countless sequels, and of course it diluted the entire product. Anyway, I told Vince we should promote the match Icon versus Icon, which is a great idea, and the winner would go down as the greatest of all time. Hogan did the honors, me winning that night, and passed the torch to me, as Andre the Giant had done to him 15 years earlier at WrestleMania 3. To this day, this crowd of 65,000 strong, of course 5,000 less than what he talked about earlier, was the most electric and on fire I had ever the privilege of performing in front of. They were ready, so were we. And actually, recently, it was the 18th anniversary of the match, and he had a video where he commented on it, and he went on to say, we got to the back. I gave Hogan the biggest, hardest hug I could give, and I said, thank you for passing the torch. He said, you deserve it, brother. Carry it well like I did when Andre passed it to me. That's a great story.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe that crowd in my brain is of equal electricity. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I think the WrestleMania 3 crowd was as bonkers.
Oh, that was a great event, too. I mean, I go back, and I'm sorry, but as much as it's Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, the match that you and I remember the most is the show stealer of, ooh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Of course, which I guess goes to show that just much like this one, the match itself doesn't matter as much as the concept, I guess. Hogan and Andre. The concept is so huge that it's eternal and it lasts forever, right?
That body slam, of course. So really a testament to two pros who could read the audience. I believe unlike anybody else who ever stepped foot inside the squared circle. There's a few others, but these two have to be near the very top, right?
Absolutely, without a doubt. And the same kind of character as well. So
yes, very much so.
Exuding as much character as each other. So
larger than life, which is the most important thing, right? So what we're going to do now, and if you want to follow along, it's really easy to do. Now, you do need the WWE Network, which I hope you have, because there's just such a wide array of just great matches and documentaries and just things to watch on there. It's worth it. It's worth the money every single month, even if you're not currently watching the product today. It's Hollywood Hogan.
If you're still being quarantined, it's free. If you're listening to this during quarantine...
Even better.
Free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring up a great point. Yeah. Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, WrestleMania 18. It is 23 minutes, 23 seconds. Are we both going to bring it up here?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, now we gotta be on the exact same time here, which is harder than I thought.
Oh boy. Are we going to be able to do it? I think we can. I know we can.
Takes here. You believe in us, eh?
Yes, I do.
Are you on this one.
Are you going to count us down, Corey?
I'll count us down. I don't have very good hand-eye coordination.
Oh, so boy.
I think I can get this. All right. Are you ready?
I am.
I'm going to go from 5. Okay?
Okay, here we go.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. We're staring at each other, black and white. You're there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Here comes Hulk Hogan making his illustrious entrance.
Absolutely. Look at that, the black and white. See, I thought that they should have ended this match with the Real American song. after the turn. Not spoiler alert, but
Ooh. I believe
coming like this. Sorry?
I was going to say Hulk Hogan, 48 years old at the time of this match, by the way.
48 years old. Broken hip. Or no, broken rib. Sorry.
Oof.
Broken rib during this match. He broke it in a match with Rikishi a few days prior, right?
Yeah. And his first appearance since WrestleMania 9 in Las Vegas. We talked about that recently.
That's right. Oh, man, that was a classic. Look at this guy. Crowd's roaring.
Fairly
Everyone
positive
knows.
reaction off the bat, but you know what's funny? It doesn't really pick up until the two are face-to-face. Like, this is a great reaction, but then you see just the entire stadium come unglued when they stand face-to-face.
Oh, that just raises the energy, raises the temperature of the room. There's many GIFs from this match that are gold. Look it up in your conversations with your friends. You could really use The Rock and Hogan stare down in your conversations.
Did you ever hear about the NWO music? It's actually, it's infamous now, right? But it was a generic music bed that Eric Bischoff, he just got from Turner because they owned it. So it was free. And then, of course, they just put in the NWO New World Order. They put all of that in there. Yeah.
Pretty badass. It works.
It is.
Absolutely perfectly.
It's probably the most iconic theme song of all time in a lot of different ways.
Easy now. Easy. I think his other theme song is probably the most iconic.
Probably. Ultimate Warriors is up there. There's a lot up there.
Iconic theme song. Shawn Michaels, Macho Man. Oh God, $1 Million Man. For God's sakes. Sorry, he's ripping
48 years
NWO
old.
off.
Look at him. He's ripped.
Goddamn.
Look at him stare. Look at him stare around. What I love about that, too, is he rips off the shirt and the crowd explodes. His command of the audience, second to none. Even with the sunglasses on, his body language really dictates that he's bewildered by the reaction, but then he smiles and nods. That's what I love.
He's like, okay, I see where this is going. It's a good thing he's wearing that belt, too, hey? That's pretty handy to be wearing today in this wrestling match.
Cody wears it, too.
Yeah? I wonder if that'll come in handy later on in this match.
Ooh.
You think?
A lot of noticeable boos, more than cheers, as The Rock makes his entrance.
They've already chosen sides.
They have. I think it has a lot less to do with their dislike for Rocky and more to do with their appreciation for Hulk. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And The Rock is so good at recovering from this stuff anyways. Doesn't care.
Doesn't
He works
faze him.
it. Doesn't faze him, which is a real testament. Earlier in the night, he cuts such a good promo. At one point, he says, "Look down into that Hulka stomach and realize you're missing a Hulka strudel."
Oh.
Hulka strudel. Gold.
Prior to
How long do
this,
you think-
didn't the NWO try to murder him with a transport truck?
Yeah. But you know what? It all comes out in the wash.
We're all friends.
Exactly. How long do you think do you think it was an easy decision on who comes out first in this match?
I don't know. I think it was probably Vince saying, you go out first, Hulk. You're the past, and Rock is the present. So I think it was Vince's call, my opinion.
But yeah, seems like a lot of odd calls in this match. But
Hulk already pointing to the audience saying, they're with me.
how hard do you think it is to dye your stubble when you're a bad guy?
Pretty difficult. Not good for the towels around the sink, that's for sure.
That's for sure. We got to keep that going.
Look at this.
Look at that. I know you can't look at this, people that are listening, but good God, they're staring at each other like nothing's ever stared at another being before.
Greatest stare down in pro
Electric.
wrestling history, without a shadow of a doubt. And they take the time to
That'll
soak
get
it in.
behind. Yeah, I'll get behind for sure. Look at that. Okay, The Rock is the funniest person of all time. Look at that. So
Slowly
they're just
stepping together.
looking at the crowd instead of each other, taking it in, possibly in minor shock at this point.
Prime example of knowing your audience, too. They knew this did not require a 5-star technical affair, but instead go back to the basics and allow the audience to actively participate.
And like never before. Do you think The Rock was mildly starstruck, or do you think they had a lot of...
He loved Hulk. Growing up, he loved Hulk Hogan. That was one of his heroes. So I think probably a little bit.
He got a bandana given to him. When he was
Yeah.
kid, right?
Yeah.
He was like,
Here we
look
go.
At that. Oh my, that's the most iconic look ever. My God.
Hulk Hogan
The
pumping
Rock
up the
is
crowd.
best. Yeah.
Circle around the ring.
A lot of Hulk signs in the audience there. More Hulk signs than Rock signs. I don't even see a Rock sign.
You see that? It said, "Hey, Hogan, 1983 called." That was it.
Beauty. Genius. Genius.
They've locked up. They're struggling. Hulk Hogan throws him off.
Oh, boy.
Huge roar. Flexes the muscles. Wow, they're going nuts. Rock is confused.
Rock is confused.
I thought you were with me.
Okay. Here we are.
It's electric already.
Electric already. Getting into pole position here. Locking up.
There's the headlock. Nice and tight. 24-inch pythons, brother.
Yeah, it's a classic Hogan move here.
Stalling. And he's milking it, which is great. Looking at the crowd.
Yeah, slowing it down is so good, especially for two guys like this.
Psychology 101.
Absolutely.
Do less. There's the shoulder block. And here we go again. Flexes the muscles to the side. They're going nuts. Look at this.
That is classic.
Oh, there's the ear.
God.
You know what I love too? He draws the line in the sand, and that really is the basis of this match. Is everybody is in Hulk Hogan's corner.
Yeah, and Rock says that he starts switching up his game, and he does a little more heelish kind of moves, and he does that instantly. He realizes that's what he's got to do.
He does.
So he's a little bit more of a scoundrel.
He talks a lot of trash in this match as well too. So if we want to talk about knowing your role, he actually opens his mouth in this match.
Yeah, you did. Brilliant, Chris. That is true.
Knee to the abdomen, and there's the clubbing blows from Hulk Hogan.
And again, Hogan's hiding a broken rib here. He seems to hurt himself before WrestleManias a lot.
He does.
He had that eye thing that he tried to hide that it was worse than it was. He's got a broken rib here, which he apparently hit as well.
Running clothesline from Hulk Hogan on The Rock, who, by the way, as much as some feel that he oversells moves, he does a great job in this match.
He does. Oh, man. Rock's a ragdoll right now.
Oh, he ducks the clothesline. Flying forearm from The Rock.
Oh, beauty, bro.
And here's where he's talking trash. He dropped an MF there. He did.
And he's passionate as all hell. Oh, my
He's saying,
God.
just bring it. Hulk Hogan gets up. He's a little shocked.
Oh, how could this be possible?
Wow. He looks like a dad that's like, you hit me back, son.
I'm a man now.
All right. I'm going to have to take my belt off later. Hogan pushes him. As Jim Ross says, it's mental chess now.
I hope people are listening to this in their car and this is blaring out the window. Just Rock Hogan commentary. Oh, look at that. He's unleashing on him.
He can't go over the top rope, so he rolls underneath.
Oh, yeah, that one's a little rough. Bounces off. He knows that he can't. It's all right.
It's okay. He knows his limitations.
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan won't be hitting a shooting star press anytime soon. That's fine.
Oh. That'd be quite the comeback if he did that. My God.
Outside of the ring, Rock attacks him from behind with a clubbing blow. Throws him back into the ring. Rock dives underneath. He's already on the attack yet again. How do you like those punches? Patented Rock punches.
Patented Rock punches. My God, look at that.
Kicks him as Hulk Hogan ducks and another clothesline. Again, back to the basics here. He's setting up for the Rock bottom.
It's all pretty basic.
It's all it needs to be.
It's all it needs to be because nothing about their personalities is basic whatsoever, and that's what everyone's here to watch. And again, we are watching it on mute, as you said earlier, and
counters with the elbow. Wow!
What a maneuver!
What a maneuver! I like that too. You don't really see that move very often. He just ran at him with a forearm. There's the elbow drops. Pretty big. I mean, he's about 300 pounds or so he's billed as. Close to that.
Hogan?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He's a big boy. Elbow drops.
In the corner, punching away. There's a couple of awkward points in this match. One of them's coming up pretty soon.
Can't wait.
There's one of the only points that just misses is Hulk Hogan tries to go into the corner. I think you see this. He goes for almost like a shoulder thrust, and it's just mistimed. But they do recover pretty well. There's the Irish Rip into the corner. This is it. Oh, I think he was believing The Rock was going to pop out. He did not. He just starts punching away.
Oh, yeah. No, I see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's rough.
They recovered okay from it, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, almost a bit of a spear and punches from The Rock now.
Not the best punches I've ever seen.
No.
Okay.
The angle covered it up. Actually, when I first saw that, I was thinking about the Dark Order. Remember all those missed punches, right? Back body drop from Hulk Hogan. Oh, covers the back of his head. He's already going for the pin. One, two.
I thought it was over. Sure. Hogan did too, obviously.
After the back body drop, Icon versus Icon is over.
Yeah. Yeah, how did that not end it? That's insane. I mean, The Rock has still got to be reeling from that semi-injury, I'd assume, so it's okay for him to be on the weaker side here.
Abdominal stretch, you don't see these very often, and clubbing blows to the abdomen. Hulk Hogan in control.
Look at that.
Mike Chioda, he's asking, "Are you done, Rock?" He's saying, "No, no." He's screaming.
Oh, there it is.
Inside cradle.
The little cradle. Yeah.
Chug gonna do. It's not even what you're gonna do. Somebody just said chug gonna do as a sign in the crowd.
They ran out of space.
That's laziness.
They only had one piece of paper. They couldn't fix that.
Oh, the back rake. I love that. You don't see enough heels implement the back rake anymore.
I haven't seen a back rake in, God knows, probably since this match. That's a really good wrestling video game move.
Yeah, it is.
I liked using that a lot.
As you're trying to hit your special, right? So you just do some back rakes and some slaps.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, just build up your meter.
Some
They're building
chops.
up their meters right now. These guys are actually two major build up your meter type guys. They are video game characters.
They are.
Really. Like they are just, it's like taunts will
Yes.
gain your meter up so you can do your special move.
He's biting him. So there's another taunt. He's on the second rope and he just bit The Rock in the forehead.
See, that's kind of heely. He's doing some heel stuff there.
And they're both very
he's
heely.
kind of like, yeah.
The Rock
I just
slapping
hope
him.
people are driving their hearing us grunt. Chris grunting.
So. Oh. Look at this. Oh, it's like that was a weird move. So Rock runs at him. Hogan almost catches him with this choke slam, like a modified choke slam, brings him down. I've never seen him hit that before. Starts choking him on the ground. The referee is saying, no.
Don't you dare. But
that's
I can't
not legal.
Stop this match, so basically do whatever you want. What's he got there? Is that
he's got like a
rope from?
I think it's from his boot or maybe around him. I don't even know
That's
where that
handy.
came. Oh, that was his wrist tape.
Please play with that belt. Not now.
The grizzled veteran. He's taking everything off of him to use.
Keep it coming. See, Rock's not wearing enough clothes that he could use.
No.
That's what.
Here come the punches. Rock countering. Trying to put him against the ropes, figuratively and literally.
God, those are epic punches.
Whoa! And The Rock just gets tossed out of the ring like a sack of laundry.
You're always throwing laundry out of the ring.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just throw it out the window from the top level. Say to my wife, "Hey, catch it!" It's just all over the driveway.
Nice. Hogan is actually throwing a lot of laundry out, to be fair.
So the outside of the ring. One thing I wanted to bring up, by the way, too. So, of course, they go to the announce table where JR and the King are both sitting. One thing that I always tend to worry about is that the announcers always rely on the monitors to call the match. And it's not exactly great for them because they actually have to call what fans see at home. So if the monitors are thrown out and their notes are destroyed and the table's destroyed, it has to be at their detriment calling this match now.
Of course. Yeah, they're commenting on the camera angles you're seeing more so than anything else, right?
Exactly. That's why when people at home are seeing it and when you're live, it's very different. Oh, The Rock dropping more MFers there. If you can read lips, he's a bad man.
I didn't catch that. MFers. What are we rated? What is our podcast rated? Can you say?
Oh, I'm not sure. Rated
We'll
mature.
risk it. That's up to JP. We can't step on his toes.
Rock grabbed the chair just moments ago, and referee Mike Chioda, he grabbed it away. Said, "Not today, sir. No DQ."
I know you're Hulk Hogan, but nah.
Hulk Hogan tosses him back into the ring, right in the middle.
We're not gonna have another Lex Yoko situation here.
God, no. With confetti everywhere. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Hulk Hogan hit a clubbing blow, double axe handle. Rock was sent right into the referee. He's down.
Oh my God, this is
The dusty finish, as they
normal.
say. The dusty finish. Who's coming down? That's what I was thinking at the time.
very dusty.
I'm a super genius, baby.
Oh God, that's good. How long do you work on those? Those are all good.
Oh, not very often. There. Oh, spine buster. Not the greatest spine buster. Is he going to nip up? What is he going to do?
I feel a nip up.
They're
Look at
both
the
laying.
people. That's a beauty shot right there.
Haven't seen that many people in the Rogers Center or SkyDome since the Blue Jays were on fire.
Is that 94? 2?
Oh, here we go.
Look at this.
So he locks in the sharpshooter, which the fans, of course, now are flipping him off. They're giving him the double bird. I was not a fan of the Rock's sharpshooter. It's not tight, but this one actually looks pretty solid.
Look at that. It's passionate. It's a passionate sharpshooter. Those are the best ones. He's kind of pulling an Austin right here, eh? Like the push up, the try to get out, except that he does succeed. He does succeed. In
Rock.
getting out.
So here comes Hulk Hogan desperately crawling to the ropes. He grabs it, but the referee cannot see it. He's still out. So The Rock says, "Not today," pulls him back into the middle, and Hulk Hogan is tapping out. Now, for those who don't know this, Hulk Hogan is tapped out to Lex Luger, Sting in WCW, and under the red and yellow, actually, Kurt Angle, and passed out to the bear hug to Brock Lesnar.
Is that all every tap out ever?
I might be missing one in WCW, right? Especially when the referee's been knocked down, but I believe Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar are the only two in WWF, WWE, and of course The Rock here, but it was not official.
Chris is an encyclopedia, ladies and gentlemen. Every
Oh.
Hogan tap out.
The low blow. That's what I write on my resume.
I know every Hulk Hogan tap out, by the way.
That was a great rock bottom. He sold it well. Great rock bottom.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Jim Ross, "Not this way." 1, 2. Kicks out. Gets his arm up. Gets his shoulder up.
Look at here comes the belt. Waving the belt in the air.
He's psychotic. He looks like Charles Manson right there. The look on his face.
That's that suburban commando acting.
Santa with muscles is whipping The Rock with his belt. That's got to hurt. That's a pretty hefty muscle belt there.
The belt did come in handy. I guess he didn't need it for his pants at all.
You think if you're the referee, you're hearing somebody like just right on skin there. Something's going on.
The referees, they hire only deaf referees.
Wraps
They're
around his hand.
DDT.
There's a DDT. There's a quick one. It's no Jake Roberts DDT, but a DDT nonetheless.
That's the most animated face I've ever seen. Look at that guy's face, for God's sake. The Rock's face is the best face in wrestling history.
He was made for movies because, of course, as Vince
Yes.
says, it's all in the facials, right? Like you have to have that reaction. And what I love here, so he picks up the belt. It is the little nuances that matter because he shows no mercy.
Exactly.
There he goes, whipping Hulk Hogan.
Not a good guy. You're a bad guy if you're whipping Hulk Hogan with a belt.
Doesn't care what the fans think. He says, no. He just did it on me. I'm doing it on him.
Yeah. Oh, who's getting him?
Great heel move because you spits on the belt, slaps him again.
As only The Rock could. That was a beauty. My God.
Oh,
It's a
he's getting
full
ready.
Position here.
Rock bottom. He's hitting his special in the middle of the ring.
Stamina's up. Boom. All the
1,
way down.
2. He kicks out, and he's starting to Hulk up.
Oh, this is the Hulk up I didn't know I needed. But then it comes and you're like, oh, yeah.
The crowd goes nuts. He's punching Hulk Hogan, but he's surviving, and there he is. Do
you think the Hulk up was planned, or is it just like, hey, I'm a babyface today? So
I think it was
guess we should
probably
do
on the
this.
fly, and the fans ate it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm eating it up right now. It works every time.
The big boot. I do love this, I have to admit. As much as he's going to the rope, it's the big leg drop, and he sells it so well.
Absolutely.
1, 2, kicks out. Hogan is shocked and confused. Jim Ross, I believe at this point, he calls something along the lines of, "Hey, Andre the Giant kicked out of that move."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lawler says you don't get to see Muhammad Ali and
Mike Tyson. The weird one, though, is that I believe he says Barry Bonds and Babe Ruth, and I go, that doesn't even make sense because it'd be different if it was a pitcher and a hitter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what a terrible reference. Like, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson's perfect. Just leave it there.
Yeah. You buried yourself after.
Another rock bottom.
Getting rock bottomed here. Could this be it? Is Hulk Hogan the less iconic of the two?
In the middle of the ring. You know what he's setting up for now.
God, I have no
Oh,
clue.
no, he's going for another. He picks him right back up.
What are you, crazy, Rock? That's a bad guy thing to do.
Take advantage. He's going. This is his third rock bottom. The exclamation point. Nips up. Perfect. And look at that. He's setting up the people's elbow.
The most electrifying.
The greatest special in video game history.
In video game history, for sure.
Yes.
It takes, you watch your opponent lose for 2 full minutes here.
Right in the middle of the chest, 2 and 3. That is icon versus icon. The Rock defeats the legendary Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
It looks like The Rock is the real icon here. He's the most iconic. It really couldn't have gone any other way. That would have been silly.
The Rock put away the old lion, much like WrestleMania 6, though. The torch was passed, but Hulk Hogan still top of mind. Same thing happened with the Ultimate Warrior. Even though Ultimate Warrior won, the crowd was really sympathetic towards Hulk Hogan.
You're right. There is a way to do it where losing doesn't mean losing, that's for sure.
It's true. That's just like Austin and Bret Hart, right?
Exactly. Who came out on top of that one in the end?
When you were watching this for the first time, were you thinking, okay, what's going to happen now? Because the end result, and we'll get to this with NWO, I did not anticipate at all.
Well, and who knows if that was on the fly, too. I've heard that was like, okay, maybe we should send these guys in.
Dissolve the NWO in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard they were just kind of like, well, I guess Hogan's good guy here. We should make this happen now.
What's nuts, too, Corey, is a month later, Hulk Hogan defeated Triple H for the Undisputed Championship. Like, he was the WWE World Champion again. He couldn't hang with the younger crew, but he was champion again all of a sudden.
Right. Here we go again. And I'm a sucker for a good handshake.
Oh, me too. The respect.
And it happened. They really keep that rare, but when it happens successfully without a, I was the last time I watched it. I was like, don't hit him after, and he didn't. So.
Crowd is going nuts still. The Rock exhausted.
Hogan's looking like a broken old man.
Oh,
he's
poor
selling
guy.
that.
And look at The Rock. He's questioning him, like, what are you doing? And Hulk Hogan, see, this is the sympathy right here. Looking around, he's hurt. He's the broken down man.
What have I become? I'm losing to The Rock?
Turned into a Nine Inch Nails song. What have I become?
Let's watch this again to hurt. That's fun.
How about Johnny Cash's I hurt myself today?
Yeah, of course. I've got a lot of time here during quarantine. I'm going to send that to you later.
Oh, there's the handshake. It does warm the heart, doesn't it?
It does it every time. Any time this has ever happened in wrestling history, it works for me.
Oh, I love that Hulk Hogan says, that's a classy move. I get goosebumps here where he says, take the rope. You earned it.
Yes. Take the rope. You earned it. I'm going to use that in general public.
Take the rope. You earned it. People are like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Corey. Take the rope, kid. You earned it.
McDonald's. Yeah. Here, take the rope.
Hulk Hogan pointing and giving the thumbs up to The Rock as if to say, I endorse this man who just defeated me.
Yes. You need my endorsement.
I love this, though. The Rock, in a very classy move, leaves the ring for Hulk Hogan to enjoy his moment. But soon it is ruined by Kevin Nash and Scott Hall.
Those silly geese, they're so upset that he told them not to come out and help. How could they not come to the ring and be mad?
The NWO is shell of their former selves.
Of course, yeah. Not quite the same.
Scott Hall is upset.
Though. They have to go for it. See, Hogan's even smiling here, so it's done. They've done it. The turn has happened. And here they are. The boys are here.
Through the toothpick, Kevin Nash pounding away. The Rock standing up the entrance ramp. He's conflicted. He runs back down to say, no, I'm going to even the odds. And that's what he does. He slides back into the ring, immediately attacks Kevin Nash, who sells the punches well. Same thing for Scott Hall. Kevin Nash clotheslined over the top rope.
Scott Hall over the rope.
Disappointing match between Scott Hall and Steve Austin, by the way.
Absolutely. Honestly, nothing lived up to anything in this WrestleMania to me. There was no doink Bret Hart, I'll tell you that.
Hulk Hogan, I love this. He repeats this many, many times, but he's going, I thought we were for life. What's going on?
That's the most Hogan thing possible to say.
For life. Come on, brother.
Life. I'm still alive. Oh, these two together, just so. They should have made a tag team that happen for like a long time.
Of course, Hulk Hogan and Edge became a tag team.
Right.
Another childhood hero of Edge's, actually, was Hulk Hogan. He said teaming with him was a dream come true.
Really?
They were at WrestleMania 6, Christian and Edge together.
Wow, that's amazing. I hope that one day I can tell the same kind of story about when I was in your house in Winnipeg.
I'll tell them the same thing when I was at SummerSlam 2019 to see The Fiend Bray Wyatt.
Oh, that's a real brag, actually. I think my pay-per-view that I was at was known as the worst pay-per-view of all time.
Oh, boy.
It's too bad. See, Hogan's nursing that rib now. He can finally reveal that rib is broken.
And look at this. Hulk Hogan going to leave the ring. The Rock says no. He even knows Hogan must pose.
See, this is also when I thought, okay, now let's get the I'm a Real American.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I'm just longing for that.
I know people that dislike Hulk Hogan, but when that song comes on, I always say, admit it. You get goosebumps. And they say, yeah.
Of course. Totally. 100%. You just can't not. It just it leads you through every wrestling chapter you've ever had.
Oh, I have goosebumps here. Hulk Hogan standing in the ring, a sign of respect. The Rock goes to the turnbuckle. Hulk Hogan, yes. His patented ear move. He's going to each side.
He's back. He's good again. Finally.
Cheer me. And there we go. There's the flexing.
You just had to fight The Rock, and it took away all his evil.
The Rock is following him around, and he's loving this.
He is loving this.
So cool.
Why does The Rock look shocked? It's amazing.
He looks overwhelmed. He sincerely looks overwhelmed I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, this is happening to me. My whole life wanting to be a big wrestler.
I love this. The Rock is telling him, hey, keep posing, man. I'm just going to watch.
Yeah, I got a front row seat.
Hulk Hogan going to each side of the ring yet again. And he's going, and there we go. Super aggressive with it. He's into it. And look at that. I love the zoom in on The Rock, just smiling ear to ear. Yeah. What a grin.
The best grin. The best grin in wrestling history.
One of my favorite parts.
Any other good grins you can think of in wrestling history?
I don't know. Well, here's one of my favorite parts, by the way, Corey. He holds the middle rope for Hulk Hogan. Sign of respect.
Oh, yeah. Take the rope.
Take the rope. Take the rope, Hulk. I'm giving it to you.
Give that to my tow truck driver. Take the rope.
Walking up the entrance ramp together. I do love this part.
Absolutely.
And look at Rock's checking. Are you okay? You good? And Hulk Hogan saying, yeah, I'm fine. I mean, I'm okay. I lost the match. I'm a little hurt, but don't worry about it. There's the epic handshake and replay.
Beauty.
I believe at this point, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler are kind of conversing, saying, I never thought we would ever see them shake hands after Hulk Hogan attempted to murder him.
Yeah, that's fair. There's people I haven't talked to who've done far less to me than try to kill me with a semi. But
it's a long entrance ramp.
He's had a long career, so you just got to respect him despite the murder attempt. You know?
One thing, by the way, too, that's kind of funny is that, so The Rock wins this match. And of course, they're probably thinking, yeah, he's the future. He was only there till SummerSlam, where he drops the title to Brock Lesnar, and then he's gone for about 6 months. And then he has his final run in WWE.
He pulls a lot of the same stuff that Hulk Hogan was pulling throughout his career, right?
Off to Hollywood, except he was making some pretty big movies. Not Santa with muscles.
Not a lot of great movies still, but he's usually the best part of the movie.
That part is overwhelming. Hulk Hogan leaves him. And then, of course, now they're showing... Are they showing New York for some bizarre reason? I guess that was like the WWF restaurant, yeah.
I've been there. I was there a few times, but I think it was short-lived. I was only there for like 2 years. But you could watch the wrestling pay-per-views with the wrestlers in the restaurant, if I recall.
So we've concluded the match, and I have to ask you a couple of things. So first of all, yes, it was Jazz versus Lita versus Trish Stratus. That was the match that followed this one. That was very lackluster. And poor Chris Jericho and Triple H.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, ladies. I'm so sorry, Chris Jericho.
Afterthoughts. That's what they are. They're just afterthoughts, unfortunately. I mean, you go out there, and this has happened before when they would put on the lingerie matches and some weird matches. And these are 3 legitimate competitors with Jazz, Lita, and Trish Stratus. There's no way that people care. They're at this point, they're probably restless, and they're thinking, "Is this done or what?"
Yeah, exactly. We've both been to live events before. Once you've expunged all of your energy to the main event, where what's supposed to be the main event, you're ready to go.
So you're a Cody Rhodes fan, obviously. I am too. He considers this the best match ever.
I saw that. Sure.
Yeah,
yes.
He loves it. And you want to know why? Again, it doesn't need to be a technical affair. It doesn't need to be a 5-star classic. But based on the crowd reaction, I'm going to ask you about this. Can you give it anything less than an A+?
Crowd reaction A+, without a shadow of a doubt. If that's what wrestling was exclusively, then that is the match of all time in that regard.
Yeah, and see, this is also the case for why have a WrestleMania in an empty arena when this is what you can see at a grand level.
Well, who knows if we ever get arenas again? We got to think of that one. I hope they have some nice graphics. Maybe they've got time to put like graphics or like video in the arena and just like make fake fans. Maybe they'll do that.
Geez, you never know. Now, I'll ask you one final question here, Corey. Are there any other matches that you feel come close to the atmosphere those two generated together? Because one that certainly comes to my mind would be Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 6, the same venue.
Hogan Warrior, exactly. Maybe it's just Toronto. Toronto, you're pretty darn good crew over there.
Or they say the Bizarro World, right? They say Toronto and also Montreal with that massive reaction through the commercial break for Hulk Hogan.
The next day, right? The next day.
God, that was amazing.
That was even bigger, probably.
Oh, it was. Undoubtedly, because I think it lasted, if I do recall, 12 or 13 minutes straight.
Over 13 minutes. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's absurd. So, it's like, all right, hold my beer, Toronto.
I mean, would anybody else even garner that reaction? Maybe Bret Hart if he just randomly showed up in Montreal, but I can't really think of anybody else.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. What a beauty of a time. We're talking about the next day on Raw.
Yeah.
When Hogan and The Rock get confronted by the NWO.
For life, brother.
Scott. Yeah, and actually The Rock is on fire during that segment.
Yeah, he's just amazing. I mean, that was probably Rock at some of his best, aside from being with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was just fantastic. If he was a batter, I mean, since we were using sports analogies earlier, he was just hitting home runs every single at-bat.
He really, really was. I believe he calls Kevin Nash Big Daddy Bitch, and the crowd is back behind him again. The crowd turns. He's a good guy again, and everyone loves him. As soon as he says that, it goes toot toot.
I love those days. Those were great. And I think that's why, the basis of this podcast, going back to these nostalgic moments where we can transport you back in time like we did today, an absolute joy.
Yeah, absolute joy. Brings you back to why you even liked this in the first place. We're still trying to like it, right? We like a lot of it. Chris likes a lot of it.
I do. I love my All Elite Wrestling. NXT's been great. Raw or SmackDown, don't get me started. But there's still a lot of great wrestling going on right now. New Japan Pro Wrestling, some other great independent promotions. But you go back to the classics because they deliver every single time.
Yeah, you get the Cole's Notes of wrestling. We're going to find those for you, find the best parts. But I agree, AEW is still delivering the future great moments that we'll look back on eventually.
So this concludes yet another episode of the Pro Wrestling Stories podcast. As always, we really hope that you tune into future episodes as we dive deep into the archives. We transport you back in time with these nostalgic moments as we bring these articles to life in audio form. You can listen and subscribe to future episodes wherever you get your podcast. Also follow Pro Wrestling Stories on Facebook. Give it a good old like at Pro Wrestling Stories, and also on Twitter, PWS_official. From Chris Toplack and Corey Rivard, happy trails to you. Until we meet again.